Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from MRC Newsbusters. Now, this was published on February 12th, and I know I'm a couple days past that point, but this hasn't got much attention on the fact that NBC reports this. This comes out, and the legacy media and the leftist media, they're not talking about this because they want to avoid this fact. They don't want the dumbed down, spoon-fed general public to know this, because then they're like, well, then why the fuck is Mueller doing what he's doing? Why is the House doing this? And they're going to see that the Russian narrative of collusion is complete bullshit. And the Democrats know that it will screw them. The legacy media knows that it will screw not only the Democrats, but also themselves. They know all this. But this was written by Nicholas Fondacaro. NBC ignores own exclusive Senate probe, found no evidence of collusion. I mean, you would think after 2 years of insanity and horseshit being piled high and deep, this would be a headline that would get major attention. I mean, just common sense, one would think. But the left, whether they're in politics or legacy media, have more than doubled down on this Russian narrative. And now they're screwed at this point. The only thing they can do is keep riding that horse while they beat it to death. Which they're they're past the point of beating it to death. I mean, they're on a carcass going, yeah, well, they're smacking it. You know, trying to get it to move forward. And if this was general knowledge, they'd be screwed. Anyway, let's take a look at the article here. According to an NBC News exclusive that first aired during the 10 o'clock hour of Tuesday morning's MSNBC Live, both Republican and Democratic sources on the Senate Intelligence Committee admitted they had not found any direct evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Despite the fact that the exclusive was filed by NBC News intelligence and national security reporter Ken Delinian, NBC Nightly News hid it from viewers. Meanwhile, ABC World News Tonight and CBS Evening News also turned a blind eye, as well as other outlets did. I mean, MSNBC kept it quiet after that. And the thing is, you have a situation here where they really didn't even find any indirect evidence of it. You know, they didn't find any circumstantial evidence. They didn't find shit. They didn't find a damn thing. And it's funny because when you look at the Democrats in the community, they're like, well, it's not like they would like leave evidence. You know, saying retarded shit like that, you know, or to that extent, at least. It's like, just admit it. You didn't find a damn thing. There's nothing going on there. And you're a bunch of spurging Trump deranged idiots who just got upset that their girl, because she felt it was time for a woman and you felt that you could cash in on that, didn't win. Sorry, but you're screwed. Just own up to it at this point. I mean, you'd think some of the legacy media might actually go, you know what? We've squandered away what credibility we have on this bullshit, and say, maybe I should think about saving myself and come out against it. Maybe build back some credibility with the general public. But no, you don't see any of that. Oh, excuse me. Instead of reporting on their massive breaking news story that drove a flood of reporting by other outlets, NBC Nightly News and anchor Lester Holt chose to hype DNA tests for dogs. And then after that, they get an update. Skipped its own reporting again on Today. I mean, that says a lot. When NBC News is avoiding one of their own, stories that they broke, that they reported on first, that they had the exclusive to, it should make people think that maybe they shouldn't take what's being said by them or the other outlets that avoided it, like it had like it was the bubonic plague. With doing that, you would think the general public would wake up a little bit If they, I mean, obviously, if they knew about this, like on the note of, you know, it being out there for them to know. But when you're keeping things quiet like this, yeah, it's yeah, they're just doing that, you know, so that doesn't happen. You know, they don't want the general public to know. When the story first broke, a seemingly shocked Hallie Jackson came back from a commercial break to announce their discovery. NBC News exclusive reporting on the Senate Intelligence Committee, their investigation into Russian election interference, and what they have and have not uncovered, she said as she introduced Delanian. I'm going to mess up that guy's name. Anyway, wasting no time in getting to the heart of what his reporting discovered, Delanian declared, Haley, after 2 years and after interviewing more than 200 witnesses, the Senate Intelligence Committee has not uncovered any direct evidence of a conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia, which they didn't find anything peripherally that would imply it. They didn't find shit. You would think this would be, you know, like back in the days when, in New York City, when they had the signs with the light, you know, doing the headlines running across, you know, it would be going across that. It would be all over the internet. You would think something like this would gain a lot of traction. You really would, especially with like normies, you know, and the fact that they've been, you know, on one side getting attacked, you know, for stating things like, oh, there's no Russian involvement, you know, like say on the note of Republicans and Trump supporters, and the spurging left who need a reality check. You would think that this would be them going around and you know, spreading it in denial. And you would think that you would see the other side because they would be in denial, but it might wake a few of them up. With it getting around, you would think that this would just have way more traction than it does. I honestly believe that it should. Delanian noted that the committee chairman, Senator Richard Burr, Republican North Carolina, confirmed that finding to another network the other day, but he wanted to see what Democrats on the committee had to say. Well, yeah, of course. You know, the legacy media, they're waiting on the Democrats because they're like, oh, well, maybe they'll keep pushing the narrative. Maybe they'll have found something. Maybe they can feed our Trump derangement syndrome and the Trump derangement syndrome that we're causing others to have. We gotta wait for Democrats. Seriously, what I've been doing since then is checking with my sources on the Democratic side to understand the full context of his remarks, because that was essentially a partisan comment from one side. But this is not bipartisan investigation, and what I found is that the Democrats don't dispute the characterization. Excuse me, how the fuck is literally someone who on the committee is stating what the committee found partisan? That is just complete retarded shit. And it goes to show that Delanian is a Trump deranged moron, because when someone is speaking on behalf of the committee like that, it's what the committee has found. See, he was like, "Whoa, it's going to be partisan. Oh, the Democrats aren't going to say that. They had to have found Trump shit. They had to have found Trump-Russian collusion." You know, seriously, that's what happened here. But see, he doesn't want to admit that. His Democratic sources confirmed to him that they were near the end of the fact-gathering process and were getting ready to start working on a report. A report that would be harsh on Trump, but could not find any direct evidence of collusion. Now, I love this part. It's going to be harsh on Trump, but they did not find any direct evidence of collusion. They didn't find shit. They didn't find any, you know, implication of it. They didn't find a goddamn thing. And they're going to be harsh on Trump? Excuse me, but Trump, the Republicans, and the American fucking people should be harsh on the Democrats. They should be telling them where the hell to get off, that they should be pulling their heads out of their asses and vote them out of office for this shit. I'm dead serious about that. They should be voted out of office for this one. Okay? Because they screwed the pooch and screwed over this country for 2 years with their bullshit. Now, they should either be resigning in disgrace or being voted out of office. Personally, I think the adult thing to do with the crap they pulled would be to resign from their positions. But they're not about to do that. I mean, they literally lied to the American people, used things like the PIS dossier and other bullshit to go out, to try to literally circumvent the will of the people, a legal election. So they deserve to just walk away at this point. They're going to be harsh on Trump. We should be harsh on them, telling them to get the fuck out of their offices. They, with the fraud that they committed on the American people, every single last one of these scumbags who pulled this Russian collusion shit, I don't care on what side of the aisle they're on, every single one of them should be called to step down, should be called to retire, should be called to leave their office. They deserve to not be in our political system after this crap. And I mean that. You're there to represent the people. You screwed them over. You pulled a bunch of shit that caused 2 years of crap that could have actually been used to get things going, be productive and get things accomplished in this country. Anyway, my sources are confirming there aren't that many witnesses left to interview for Senate investigators, but after they concluded that, then they're going to sit down and write their report, and the Democrats say this report will not be good for Donald Trump. They can't admit they're wrong. They're like, well, we're still going to be harsh on Trump. No, you fucked up, and you're trying to save face at this point. You're trying to not come out looking like shit. Guess what? You're still going to look like shit. It will question the judgment of many people in the Trump orbit for having the meetings and allowing themselves to be preyed upon by Russian intelligence operatives that sought to interfere in the election to help Donald Trump. But again, no direct proof of the conspiracy. I love this. Being preyed upon. This preyed upon shit is fucking hilarious. Oh, well, Trump just had a bunch of idiots that were being preyed upon by Russians. See, they can't give up this shit. So it's like, well, it wasn't Trump. Well, then these people were, and they can't prove that these people were colluding with Russia. So by using this particular phrasing of themselves being preyed upon by Russian intelligence, they're trying to make it look like that the people on the Trump campaign are morons, including Trump Jr. and others, and that they were duped by the Russians. They are so fucking desperate. It's not even funny. You guys fucked up. Give up already. Holy shit. On March 12, 2018, a similar investigation by the House Intelligence Committee was ended because they too could find no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. In that case, ABC and CBS gave a combined total of less than 1 minute, 58 seconds to those findings. I mean, this just goes to show how much they're willing to manipulate the American people. Because they know if these things come out and get traction with the general public, get traction with the normies, they can't keep pushing the lies and the bullshit that they do about Russia. So they're going to keep it quiet, and they're going to do everything that they can to have a situation where the majority of people are oblivious to this. But they don't, and the only way that they can do this is by controlling the narrative. Problem is you have people out here on the internet, like myself, who will call this shit out or will bring attention to it and talk about it and provide their commentary to it and call you out for your shit when you're in the legacy media pulling the crap that you are. And you don't like that, which is why you want to, you see, the Wall Street Journal and other outlets going after creators on YouTube and other platforms, looking to stop that and calling for YouTube and Twitter and other platforms, Facebook, to censor people that are competing with them, that are providing information and countering the narratives that the legacy media and these deranged dipshits are pushing. I mean, 58 seconds total. It's funny. NBC seems opposed to reporting any news on the Russia investigation that could vindicate Trump because they also ignored the House Intel Committee findings. Well, of course, but that's across the board in the legacy media. Okay, 58 seconds is basically the same thing. The reason why between the two you have 58 seconds is because they spend even 2 seconds on it, which is why between the two of them you have less than a minute. But if they spend 10 seconds on it, 20 seconds on it, they have plausible deniability. Oh, well, we covered that. We talked about it. We reported it. So what if we did it once and it only took us 20 seconds to do it? So what if it took us 35 seconds? You know, I mean, that's the whole thing behind it. But see, NBC thinks that they can just, avoid it like the bubonic plague. Back then, NBC Nightly News whined about President Trump's school safety plan being light on gun control, highlighted a Powerball winner, and marveled at billionaire Warren Buffett's $1 million March Madness bracket challenge. Add a dog DNA test to the list of things NBC finds more newsworthy than no evidence of collusion. True. I mean, see, this ought to go to show that the legacy media cannot be trusted. Okay, this is one thing that gets me. Like, you got Tim Pool going, oh, well, this legacy media outlet is pretty legit. This legacy media outlet is pretty legit. And he's saying shit like BuzzFeed is, for fuck's sake. Okay, then he hawks this NewsGuard shit, which is labeling anything, right of these shit bricks, like at NBC, CNN, HuffPost, or anything like that as fake news, putting a big old, red warning. Ooh, gonna get, you can't read this because it's fake news. It goes against the bullshit that we want. The thing is you got people that buy into their shit, and it's funny. I mean, he honestly thinks that you can trust the legacy media, and you could trust something like NewsGuard. I mean, shit, he shilled the shit out of that, and now he's dead silent about it. And what gets me is he just keeps on doing his shit, and no one's calling him out for it. No good, decent-sized, bigger creator is calling him out for it when it's like BetterHelp bullshit. He shilled the shit out of it like creators did with BetterHelp or Candid. I mean, this is funny. This goes to show how untrustworthy they are, but yet Tim will keep saying, oh, well, they're generally trustworthy, and others to do that. And it's like, dude, become more of a fucking cynic and less of a fucking cuck. Seriously. Because he doesn't want to upset people. I don't trust him. I don't trust anyone. Unless I read it for myself and unless I see information backing it up, I do not trust anyone. It doesn't matter if it sticks. It doesn't matter if it's someone at NBC News. It doesn't matter if it's Tim Pool. It doesn't matter if it's Paul Joseph Watson. Unless I see verifiable information from, that can be verified from multiple sources or see it directly for myself, I don't trust it. Call me a cynic. Call me, skeptical, whatever. But that's how people should be, especially in this day and age. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.